At last place is the absolute abomination, that is Undisputed Attitude. This album is genuinely awful. Everything about it, from the production to the cover, is awful. Next but not too far ahead is Diabolus In Musica. This one is also awful, but it at least has some variety and creativity, unlike Undisputed Attitude. The production is still f***ing awful. Next up is God Hates Us All. This is already miles better than the previous two. This album is probably Slayer's heaviest and most aggressive album. The only problem is that the songs blend together because they're all extremely angry. This is where we start getting to the more remarkable albums. Divine Intervention is a big step up from God Hates Us All in terms of variety and memorability. Not to mention, it has one of Slayer's best album covers. My only issue is the muffled production, but aside from that, it's a great album. Next up is Repentless, which probably has Slayer's best album cover. Repentless's biggest issue is its lack of memorability. While it does have great production, there is little that separates it from the two previous albums, which I will get to later in the video. The next album is Show No Mercy, the debut. This album shows more NWOBHM influence than the following albums. This album is very memorable and catchy, but the production is very muddy and has too much reverb. Overall, another great album. Everything said about Show No Mercy can be said about Hell Awaits. The only difference is that this album has more thrash influence than the previous one. This is where Slayer started to find their signature sound. Next up is World Painted Blood. I know this is definitely controversial for a lot of people, but I love this album. It's heavy, fast, thrashy, angry, and has variety. I only wish that this had the production of Christ Illusion. Next up is, you guessed it, Christ Illusion. This album is a great return to form after 3 not-so-great albums. It's the classic thrashy Slayer with amazing production. It might be shocking to have this at number 4, but this is my opinion, not yours. Deal with it, bitch. My number 3 pick would have to be South of Heaven. It is doomy, evil, menacing, and very consistent. Some people may put it higher, but I feel that it is to samey at a certain point, just like the next one that I will get to next. My pick for number 2 is Rain and Blood. Some people may comment and say my list is basic, but nobody is forcing you to watch this video. So how about you come up with your own generic and boring list? Anyways, this is an incredible and classic thrash metal album. Every song is amazing, and yeah, I don't need to say much else. And my pick for number 1 best Slayer album is obviously the GOAT, Seasons in the Abyss. This album takes everything the previous 2 albums did, and it perfects them by adding variation. Thanks for watching.